Bitcoin confiscations in Canada have now been deemed unconstitutional by a federal judge. We have some very key projects making huge moves as Bitcoin falls into a lull post ETF, and a new game coming out that has some interesting crypto connections and its founding taking the world by storm. All this and more on today's Blockchain Basement. We are the bread and butter of all the information that's been swimming across the internet for crypto news.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What do you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Over 2 years, he's made like 17K on Roblox. And he's
What?
Like 12.
You never listen to me, and we must be married. Yeah, well, how much are you investing? $100.
400 to 600,000. The
think it's so
generational signals are now.
You're spread so thin, that's how you get in on Snake. Snake's been my biggest winner.
Welcome all to the Blockchain Basement. We have the interesting usual suspects. Hannah, you're hiding your camo. You have camo pants on.
Yeah.
One of us has had this same pattern of camo on every day in the Blockchain Basement. We seem to take turns on it. How you doing, Hannah?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I got no legs.
No legs. Can't see them. She's just floating around, just this orb, doing things, talking crypto, and amassing a kind of an army of people. You're growing pretty fast on Twitter. Holy cow.
I love Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter's fun.
Shout out to that.
Reply
Aaron,
girls.
the absolute G. Any news stories about squirrels or snakes? Did you get attacked?
I set up the trap again last night. So they seem to be active during the day and at night. So we'll see what happens when I get home if I got another squirrel.
Yeah.
But man, I'm excited about one of the things we're talking about today.
Yeah,
I
dude.
did some research.
Yeah, dude. There's a game coming out. Hannah was talking about it. It's out now.
It's out. It is out.
Yeah, I'm
looks
about to low-key. I feel like I might start streaming again. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but this game would be really fun to stream, and it's crypto founders.
You'll be in the next room just screaming.
Yeah.
People in chat, guess what
Scaring
game
me
we're
out.
talking about. We're not going to tell you yet.
Yeah,
Guess in the chat.
Shout out Manwalk. We got Robert Cosine, Crimson Caravan Company, Bob from Accounting, Boops did 2JZ, C90FTW, all the G's, all the OGs. But we have a very special guest with us today in the Blockchain Basement. Many of you may or may not know Piano Matty B. He is absolutely awesome. TA analyst, a lot of great insight on Bitcoin's overall price action through the years. But it's incidental that we should have him on the show today, along with the massive news about a federal judge ruling the moves against the trucker convoy in Canada and its Bitcoin donations was indeed unconstitutional. We're going to be looking into that story a little bit after he joins us, but pretty amazing timing on that. Let's bring him up right now. We got him joining. This is the OG call-in section. How you doing? How's the weather up there in the north? Good, sir.
Oh, it's cold as always, but you know, today is actually pretty nice. It's -4, -5. I can deal with that. At -5, you last longer than 3 minutes. I would say maybe, I don't know, you could probably survive in -4 without dying.
I'm pretty familiar. Most of my family's from North Dakota, you know, kind of the Montana, North Dakota area. So Fargo gets a little bit extra cold at times, but really glad to have you joining us on the show today, man. I know we have the massive news, in my opinion, about Justin Trudeau and what is being clawed back. A little bit of the freedoms. Are freedoms trying to make a comeback in Canada right now, would you say? Or is it just more of the same kind of arbitrage and nothing will be really done?
Well, you know, like to us, right? Everyone in the chat, everyone in studio right now, it is big, right? We hear this and go, oh my God, finally, right? But it really, we are in a bubble, right? So I have a couple of metrics where I go to a squash club and I go play at the Jimmy, this piano bar. And when I do talk to people, A, most of them don't even know what Bitcoin is. And B, the worst part is that a lot of these people are still those damn truckers. It's hard to believe, right? Yeah. And then to me, it's just it's an instant red flag. I just immediately, when I do have the conversation, which is rare, and they say those damn truckers, I'm out of here. So I only found out about this like through my own crypto bubble. It's of course in Canada. I don't know if you saw my thumbnail yesterday, but it was the Instagram blocking. Canada
Yeah.
news can't be shown on Instagram. So they do a good job, but I'll leave it at this. I do think freedom, it's funny to say, I think freedom's making a comeback, but I really do. I'm heartbreakingly optimistic.
Me too. You got to be optimistic about something, right? And you see, something that kind of spurred extra attention from me down here in the States is we do have the formation of what looks like will be another trucker convoy going to the southern border.
Nice.
And there's been a lot of contention about that location. It's hard to say that people in general are just hungry for freedom as a whole, but I do see that these things getting noticed and that, the pushback from the federal judge, at least in Canada, in freedom's favor, finally, it's 2 years too late. We had the same time frame where J6 people are still in jail. We're 750 days or somewhere around there of, people being incarcerated for being at that, insurrection that they claim it to be. But it's pretty incredible to see this rollback. Now, on Bitcoin, it's been kind of a bloodbath, a little bit of a bloodbath. We had the ETF approval. A lot of hopes and dreams came true on paper as far as news articles and everything like that. But then the daunting reality of Grayscale dumping, people were having a 49% discount on Bitcoin up to the spot ETF through the GPTC access point. Now we see that profit being rolled out of GPTC. Like this morning, another 20,000 Bitcoin went to Coinbase from Grayscale in just more sell-offs. Do you think that the larger sell-offs are over to this point? Do you feel like we're finding a footing around this 38K level for Bitcoin? Or what are your kind of thoughts on where the overall Bitcoin market will go over the next few months here?
Well, unfortunately, although I'm ultra bullish, I think in the short term, there's nothing really pumping Bitcoin's tires. The ETF kind of came and went, and now we're dealing with the sell-off, and that it's not done yet. So, maybe by a week or so, but we were talking earlier, I don't know how it is in the States with the 30-day waiting from in and out of a capital gain. So there may be, at the end of this month, some big buying opportunities from people that exited their Grayscale position and are getting back in. Other than that, you tell me, is there anything coming down the pipe besides the halving that's really going to make any difference? Like an FOMC meeting, who cares? It's just like a knee-jerk reaction, then we revert to the mean. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I do see, we have the excited, at least more and more retail are being shown, but retail is really not here yet fully. Like the Google Trends graph is far from where it was at the real kind of exciting times in crypto last bull market cycle. So where we're at right now, I feel like we're kind of destined to range a little bit. I think that I would not be surprised if we saw a sweep down to around 34K for Bitcoin. But in my mind, I'm not going to be surprised if, we do end up holding around this $38,000 level and just basically pop back up to 42 and back down for some time. The halving, it's about April of this year. God, it's already 2024. So it is pretty close. The halving is actually, if you think about it, we're already in halfway through the month of January, just a few months out from that halving. And I have seen something interesting that I noted in this bull market from the last is that CNBC actually started talking about the halving before it actually happened, right? And started talking about these things in a slightly higher level, which is giving people a little bit better of an understanding. Even Owen on the board, he has some people around him asking about the Bitcoin halving and, just the overall design of the scarcity of it built in, and the baseline building blocks for what crypto, I think we kind of schmooze over because we're in it all the time and we hear halving and merge. It really doesn't mean much other than a short-term dip after, regular price action commences after that. But I think that the general public becoming a little bit more educated ahead of time from the halving might actually give it a lot stronger of a catalyst. Because in my mind, I'm imagining we're done with the Grayscale and the FTX holdings sell-offs by that time, and a lot of companies that if they were in the red or had misgivings that would have been exposed if crypto kept going lower. I think that it rising has actually seemed to wash that away. and that's like in Bitcoin, I really felt like my overall idea, and I may be wrong. You may disagree with this, but I feel like this cycle is going to happen a little bit quicker in just by a few months. I've seen a lot of people calling for the end of 2025 for that top. I was looking more around, summer, like May, June, July. And only the thought process I had from that was just the velocity of Bitcoin's resurgence back up to the 40K level. From 15K, it just felt like it happened much quicker and at a much steeper pace than I had seen in previous bull markets. So that is, what are your thoughts on that? Is that crazy talk, or are we right on a different schedule to you?
No, that seduces my wanting it to be faster, right? We all kind of want this bull market to be the bull market of all bull markets. And I always tell people this is going to be the bull market of all bull markets. But it doesn't mean we can't see like some super lows. If we can take a look at here. This is the daily chart, right? We're just up. Let's see where I'm here. We are just up back into our channel of eternal monotony. This was all the way back in December. So we've outside this little nugget here, we've just been ranging ad nauseum up and down. Like that's a boring range, even though we're all excited that we're at higher prices. But if we break this support, which was 39.6, the CME gap right here, look at that. There's no volume. As John Travolta is like, where's the volume? Where's the volume? This is us just going crazy, right? That was maybe the most exciting time once we hit here. Then we've been ranging. But what I'm afraid of, and what I've already put in here, is let's say we go down. So this bear flag here, can you see this? It plays out to about 36.9, right? And at that point, we may swoop into the 35s. But if we were to build out here, that would be the mother of all head and shoulders patterns, and that would end up playing out 30K. So there is a path. This is all hypothetical. We're not even here anymore, right? But if we were to dip down, not hold this level, build this out, we could see the 30K, and that wouldn't be crazy in the big scheme of thing. And then once, 6 months from now, we won't even remember it was 30K. That's the beauty of being in this market. It's painful when it's painful, but when it's over, it's like, what dip? Yeah. 30K? I don't remember.
Yeah. It comes at you quick. And that is something good to keep in mind. The head and shoulders that you're calling out that might be forming there. There's a potential for it, man. Like I was fearing a little bit of that playing out if it did range or, kind of get stuck in that 34 to 38 spot. That's where I was fearing that it would just stretch out and then have another chance to go down. And I know that, we were bearish on initial reaction to ETF. It kind of turned out to be a sell the news event. There's a lot of hype around it. Now that we've corrected hard, it gets you really wondering if TradFi is going to be, interested in getting dumped on with 20% gains. Like, right, what a way to be baptized into crypto. First 2 weeks shaving off 21%. Right. They get all the feelings that we get here in the crypto world. That's why it's always important to look for good entry points. But I think that we're doing pretty well as far as holding. That's relative to that whole upswing line that you were talking about where things started to get exciting. If we can hold above that and not, altcoins are going to get crushed if we do break down to that level. So that's what I try to keep in mind. Like, obviously we're in a good like mini alt season, right? When we later on in the show, I'm going to be showing there's a few altcoins that are outperforming, especially when Bitcoin's going down. It's been pretty interesting to see, like Celestia, TIA token, Injective, a couple of these interesting new projects that we've been watching from a long time ago. But just to see the resilience in those altcoins while Bitcoin has these corrections gives me a little hope that we might be looking at some outliers that can last, because we got a long way until, not too long, but about a year and a half until we get to where I'm looking for a good blow off top in crypto, so it's I'm thankful for that, because then I was able to pile in a bunch of DCA, and build a bag longer than that. But man, I appreciate you showing me. Do you have any other things you want to share to us about what's happening up north, or what we should be looking out for?
Yeah, well, back to that Trudeau thing. There's a weird correlation between the puppets, Trudeau and Biden. Like, as Americans, you must look up at Canada and go, "What the hell's going on with Justin Trudeau?" The same way we look down and go, "What the hell's happening with Biden? Like, how can this actually be happening?" And when you're just a kind of a normal person going to a job and not really questioning anything, you just don't question the whole apparatus, the democracy itself, right? But when you're in this environment and you understand how money works in central banks, you realize that these guys are just puppets. They don't care about you, and the legal system is designed to protect them. So I'm sure that they'll just there'll be some sort of clause and it'll get revoked, and then it'll just carry on, because up in Canada, usually these things play out to bankrupt the plaintiff or the defendant, right? They don't really care. They'll just keep throwing, because what you have is a bunch of government slave lawyers who are just full-time, just like back it up, keep it going. Because the normal guy, the normal trucker, he doesn't have $10 million to feed the judicial system. He's got about 200 grand tops. And when it's out, he's done. Right. And that's what's happening here. So although I'm heartbreakingly optimistically bullish on freedom in Canada, I'm still packing my bags, and I have feelers all over South America I get the call and I'm out.
Okay. Maybe a larger scale bug out situation you're talking.
A couple things have to happen. I mean, we're some people in Winnipeg are looking at some things in El Salvador, and it could happen. It'd be no more ridiculous than 3 years ago when I ended up doing TA on this massive channel called BitBoy Crypto, right? So nothing is that crazy. And to get down there to El Salvador, it's one step forward. You just keep putting them, you're working towards a goal. And, if you work hard enough, usually those goals come, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was thinking while you're mentioning South America, what Javier Milei may do with Argentina. It's got me, but I mean, their currency is collapsing, kind of a chaotic situation. You have currencies collapsing. Yeah, sure. They might be adopting crypto and, trying to move the lever that way. You still at large have civil problems that dwarf our situations here, in the northern parts. But yeah, I know, I understand the pain in trying to remain optimistic, but it's just about getting out there every single day and speaking about what's right. You know what I mean? And getting the message out. We can't give up. And I feel tired all the time from calling out more corruption. Oh, another senator was moving piles of gold, from one to the next, or he's getting paid by an oil company in this country we're about to go to war with. There's a lot of things that we could be negative about. That's why I'm so bullish on having crypto and these avenues. And the Bitcoin being confiscated because it was a donation, that's up to federal judges to, basically set that law. It begs the question, what do you do when laws become illegal? They're enforcing illegal laws. You get to that ground. And I hope we don't get there fully, because it's a very ugly situation if we get to that point. And I know the average Canadian's much more patient, I would say, than the average American.
They're more docile and nice, and they don't want to make waves, right? But at the end of the day, I think what the problem is that's going on here and in the States is that there's too many normies that haven't been impeded upon, so to speak, right? So their little bubble is okay, and they're saying to themselves, well, as long as this doesn't happen, I'm okay. As long as this doesn't happen, I'm okay. But sooner or later, if you just sit there and be quiet and do nothing, it's going to happen, and then it'll probably be too late. Like what's going on with that border down there? I see these videos. It's crazy. It's like, is this really happening, or is this, am I being bamboozled with fake videos? Like people just storming the border, yet I couldn't fly and do a gig.
Right.
I had to be vetted for medical stuff and everything, but yet they can come.
And also that it has massive economic implications to not have a good bellwether on the influx of people coming into the system. How many people are putting for taxes, paying for social infrastructures, like Medicare, all these different systems that we try to put together as a nation. it's hard to do actual, justice to those services if you have no idea how many people are in the country. You have no bellwether of that. It's I'm no deterrent. I don't think that immigration is a bad thing. It just needs to have paperwork and to know who's living in what country. You know what I mean? I mean, there's criminals that do things, unspeakable things, and they can just walk in and get a complete new name, and a new life. Nothing's thought second about it. And it's pretty concerning. I think that's going to be a longer term kind of problem with society. And part of the reason why I continually focus on only living in wooded areas and away from city centers and stuff like that, because, I think there's going to be pockets of pain there. But, man, it was absolutely awesome having you join me on today's show, man. And, we got a little inch of justice against Conrad Trudeau today. So we'll see if more and more of that comes about. We did. We got to acknowledge we got some good, but more work needs to be done as always. So appreciate you very much, man.
Thanks for having me.
You have any parting thoughts?
Well, I do have a deep, dark theory on the immigration if you want to hear it.
Let's go. We're in the basement.
Okay. Well, from what I see, and all I see are videos, right? To me, I look at that and I'm like, that's your future U.S. Gestapo-like police force. And they are coming to get everybody. They're all basically army-aged men coming from war-torn countries that are used to seeing incredible violence and injustice. What a perfect army of psychos to uphold whatever bizarre laws that come down the pipe. That's my deep.
That's a dark one. That's a dark. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty
I'll leave you
reasonable
on that
theory. I hope you're always coming out with the sauce, man. Where can people find you? Where are you found on the interwebs?
YouTube, Piano Matty B, 8:00. I do a production video and a live stream every morning, Monday to Friday. And then we do the piano bar on Friday, Saturday night, the biggest and the best live dueling piano in the world.
Yes.
In the world.
It's huge. It's huge. I've seen it. I tune in. I got it up. Make sure to catch it, and absolutely appreciate you. Make sure you come back on as soon as we can, man. And I'll be hopping on your show. Be aiming for Friday. So looking forward to it, brother.
Right on.
All right.
Thank you, Gib.
Take care, man. That was cool.
Interesting take at the very end there.
That was a very interesting take. That was because you think about they're never going to enforce that, but they have the UN could put blue hats on all of them and give them, that's an interesting theory. That's an interesting theory.
Attack from the inside, I've heard.
Well, that's the only way that it's feasible, in the United States. It's got to collapse from within. And, there's a lot of good takes that, military wouldn't turn arms on their own American people. That's true. I would agree with that. But it's an interesting thing to think about. You have millions and millions of military-aged males crossing the border for years on end. 10 years down the line, you got a large pool of people to pick from to enforce very chaotic, unconstitutional
scary,
things.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
A little scary indeed.
Yes, very scary. And, I know we talked about the federal judge in Canada that deemed it was unconstitutional to use the Emergencies Act against Canadian truckers to confiscate their Bitcoin and their other donations that were being received to keep the movement going. We have this from Justin Trudeau's ego. My government had several press conferences scheduled for this afternoon. Unfortunately, the following news that my use of the Emergencies Act was illegal. We have all contracted COVID-19. We will be isolating for the next 6 months or as long as it takes for the news to blow over. So there he is. Probably going to be hiding out just like he did last time. The last time he was called out for his absolute injustice. And I think that someone in that position that affected so many people's basic freedoms should face much, much more than a naughty boy little slap, not even a slap on the wrist, just a little wag from the Supreme Court. Like, where is the accountability, right? If they can do whatever they want and he can just not answer, not do any press conferences, it's up to him, right? He's in control. Mm-hmm. Their media is under control. This is the problem with centralization, right? And the centralizing of the social media. Now, the majority of Canada's Canadians can't even see, news outlets from other countries. Like, it's state propaganda media at this point. So very, very scary stuff. You know, and I did mention a little scary stuff on the Bitcoin side. We had Grayscale still dumping. This actually isn't 16,000, it's 19,000 total. Were sent over from GPTC address to Coinbase this morning. Haven't seen the dump come from that as of yet, I wouldn't say, but really where we're at, this is a great note from Don Alt. The ETF event played out significantly more bullish than he expects. We're drawn down a bunch, but every single passing day it looks more like a buy the dip and less like mindless speculation. If sentiment shifts slightly bearish, it's strong buy time in his opinion, and I would tend to agree with that. And that's in that situation where we do see that punch down to 34K. You know, that would be where legends are made grabbing. And I said it before the drop yesterday. We've had just consistent drops, but I'm feeling good on TIA token. Celestia has really, and ICP are kind of standing out to me. We do have kind of flat, you know, up by 1% on Bitcoin there. Manta though, taking the front of the show here, up 26% as of right now. ICP's up by 9%. Somehow Helium is really pumping.
Zero Fs.
Yeah, and these are the projects that really something kind of dawned on me. This is like the new guard of the hot new in crypto. Is when Bitcoin crashes and there's a massive problem with the Bitcoin price or Ethereum. I've been noticing Beam. I've been noticing TIA token, Injective, Manta Network, you know, starting to really shine. One thing important to note on Manta, though, is that there is a large amount of total value locked on it. It's one of the main kind of selling points that a lot of people have had for it. But there is an unlock and you're able to unstake in March of this year. So you have to keep that in mind. There's going to be some movement, you know, and that if it's a complete leave or, you know, people are hyper short term on it, that's yet to be determined. But we do know that it's locked until March. So you got to be wary of that because these things matter. So I put the Skittles stuff in this drink.
Skittles?
I'm kind of bothered. Like, I thought my teeth were going to be purple, first of all.
Like, you put this, like, the candy
No,
Skittles.
No, it's like a little, there's
flavor?
a flavor
it's like
water packet.
Yeah.
I thought that those were like electrolytes, but I don't think so. I think it's just flavor.
It's just candy stuff.
Yeah.
They're in an electrolyte box.
Yeah.
That's
Gonna
where it
rot your
gets you.
teeth out,
Yeah, I
bro.
think it's
Yeah.
just like flavor.
They're in an electrolyte box. I had to pour out most of it, and there's still some left, and it's a little purple. I mean, God, it still tastes like Skittles, like crazy.
Your teeth are kind of purple.
Is it?
A little bit. You can't see on camera, but it's a little purple.
So sweet. Another one that's really kind of doing well right now while everything's struggling to come back, up by 12%. I want to kind of look at the overall on Sui. So I know we've been looking at this thing since before it was released. Again, still creating that nice big old cup. So now, if this is that juicy cup and handle formation that we all love seeing, we can expect some chop, creating a little bit of a triangle right here from essentially, you know, I'd say it's on the upper range of its upper portion of its short-term range. And this I would see turning into a good cup and handle on Sui. There's a lot of excitement about it. An interesting, another thing to note is Aptos is also in the top gainers realm. And Aptos and Sui had a kind of a similarity in their originating dev team. So I think that Aptos and Sui, those are going to be ones to watch. ICP doing great. But, you know, these are the ones that are really kind of sparking a lot of excitement. FracShare, ICP, all these different things. And stacks, building on Bitcoin. Same kind of realm that I like about ICP, the thought that, you know, companies would prefer to build on Bitcoin. I'm super glad people are calling out the Tau. BitTensor was a really old call that we had, and we only mentioned it a few times quite a while ago. It was about like a year, maybe even more ago. Yeah, I remember this. So you see the front end. This is a great lesson in life. So I was talking about it, you know, before. Where's the all-time? Because there is a nasty price action. So I'll scoot this up a little bit. This dip scared the shit out of everybody. And it was down to 12 cents, right?
12 cents.
12 cents. This dip terrified the markets. In general, I wasn't too phased about it because it's an AI narrative, a strong following. A lot of people were excited about it all the way through the doldrums. And essentially, it has since absolutely skyrocketed, sitting at $316. But on the day, it's just had a hell of a performance, up 22%. Now, we got to look at the other meme coins. We're involved in meme coins. We got to look at it. Here we go. Trump coin still cooking along. Absolute chaos. $89 million market cap. Truly insane. I did come across something else, though, in the political coin narrative that popped off.
How good is Trump over? Can we look at the 24-hour really quick?
Yeah, on the last one.
Yeah, I just want to take note of this every day, maybe.
Yeah. So here you go. We're on our charts. So this is hour by hour candles. It started the day, essentially in the morning. It punched up to about $2.22. Actually still showing a lot of interest. The liquidity still sitting at 2.4 million, taking that into account. You know what I mean? There is on this kind of political coins narrative, I saw this one pop out today. It's Trump 2024. A little bit newer of a project. It started just a few months ago.
I'm not buying it.
I might be moving in on this thing. If I can get this thing hella cheap, like
if it goes down, I'm tempted.
Yeah, if it goes down into this spot right here, this is about a $2 million market cap, maybe $3 million market cap. I'll move a little bit into there just for chaos. And just because, you know what I mean? I'm here for the chaos.
Oh, interesting. CW said Aptos has a hackathon going on.
Oh, Aptos is a serious dev team, man. They're the people behind Libra, Facebook's token before.
On.
Yeah, but
that was news that I woke up to, or I saw it last night actually. No. Who is it? She just sent Meta a letter and said that they still have like 5 things filed as if they're still looking into digital assets.
Was it Warren?
No.
Elizabeth Warren? We got to pull that up. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, Maxine Waters.
Oh, Waters.
Maxine Waters is like challenging Facebook because in 2019, she asked them like what their intentions were with digital assets or whatever, and they said that they were dropping all of that. They're not going forward with their like NFT digital asset. They said that they were coming out with a cryptocurrency, Libra, and a wallet for people to custody. And Ebron says Facebook team split, half went Sui, half went Aptos.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Interesting. And then yesterday, Maxine Waters said, like, you guys said that you dropped everything, but these are still in your filings. Like, it still looks like you're pursuing digital assets.
Oh, leaving the back door open.
She's looking for, she's pushing them for clarity regulation. They need to figure it out. So we'll see what happens with that soon. But I'm like, Facebook is still pursuing something, and they've just, haven't said anything.
Oh,
and she's noticed.
They split depending on what they were holding, I think.
Have you guys see what's happening? I can't not talk about the Trump tokens because the media can't stop talking about him. And he crushed Nikki Haley last night. Did you guys see what happened? Like the early polling. I think it was New Hampshire last night.
I did not.
I got notifications that he won.
I unplug when I go home.
But here is Nikki Haley talking about internet control, just like they have in Canada. Let's hear what she has to say.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts. Now, our social media companies, they have to show America their algorithm. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name.
Ugh. Bro, listen, hold on. That's not funny. Because...
That's scary.
They did that in China already.
Yeah, I know. And in Canada, they're moving into it. Like, the rights are going away right now. We have to actively talk about it right now. But that really made me laugh. That's the one thing about that video that came to mind is what kind of political ads are going to be created with AI, right? Like, you can create some serious, remember that song 99 Red Balloons? That was written about, radar systems accidentally noticing a balloon in the sky, thinking it's a nuke, and then starting World War III. World War III. Now, think about the potential of a AI video version of a red balloon. Right?
I think that there's going to be an AI tool to detect which videos and photos are AI.
Well, that's what they're trying to do with
there better be.
It was. I
Shit.
think
They will for sure.
it was a camera company itself that's trying to build in those. Let us know in the chat. We literally I covered it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Camera company.
Yeah, it was like a camera hardware company that was trying to build in the controls to understand what is and is not AI, so that it can be marked that way. But like, God, there's some seriously bad potential for overreactions if they're it's a created video or something like that. Like,
I'm still able to like usually watch something, figure out if it's real or not, but we're gonna get to the point that you can't tell anymore.
A lot of
sure.
people.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Owen and I were during ATB. We're watching a YouTube video and we got an ad, and it was Brad Garlinghouse,
And it
AI
looks real.
Brad, and he's like, "You will get rich if you buy this
You can
or
tell
whatever."
those.
They
We
just
can
had the
tell,
Solana one too.
but my grandma couldn't, y'all.
I know
If that was on your phone, it would be a lot harder too.
right.
And YouTube's doing nothing about that. And I've had so many with the founder of Solana.
Yes. Altcoin Daily shared that video too. And it's kind of crazy to think about sharing the video. I don't want to share the videos because people might get, obviously I'm not sharing the link or anything like that, but I don't want people to normalize it as something that's real. Like,
If it's too good to be true,
it is.
it's probably
It
fake.
is.
It's a
probably
scam.
not real.
I live by that.
Don't click on any links. Don't send any crypto to anybody.
You have to be careful out there, you guys, especially if you're just getting into crypto, you're new. And even if you're experienced, then you get complacent and you think you know everything, and then you get absolutely brutalized when markets have a nasty correction. And that's what we try to avoid. That's what we want to avoid, that to keep building our bags bigger and bigger in preparation for the true bull market. Who's not in a bull market anytime soon is Boeing. What you got?
Boeing. Okay, last thing on the Maxine Waters. So
Yeah.
I found the letter that she actually sent to Meta, and it said, members of the committee have previously expressed their concerns regarding Facebook's potential creation of a cryptocurrency, talking about Libra. And in June of 2019, Facebook announced its plans to develop a new crypto called Libra and a digital wallet to store to store the crypto known as Calibra was going to be their wallet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they dropped that in 2019, and Maxine Waters said that their companies, and I quote, Facebook has data on billions of people and has repeatedly shown a disregard for the protection and careful use of this data. Regulators should see this as a wake-up call to get serious about the privacy and national security concerns, cybersecurity risks, and trading risks that are posed by cryptocurrencies. Given the company's troubled past, I'm requesting Facebook agree to stop movement on a cryptocurrency until Congress and regulators have examined the issues.
There is so much to unpack there.
That's insane. They're literally
my
saying
gosh.
Facebook has all of this data on people and they don't use it responsibly, and now they're developing a cryptocurrency of their own and a wallet so people can self-custody. And Maxine Waters is like, no, wait for us to regulate it, like starting to push that. Interesting. This is interesting.
And kind of on this subject, this was from a co-founder of technology giant Palantir, saying that there's only one type of Bitcoin buyer that could be very important: AI agents. I want to listen to this. This is an interesting kind of segue off of that in what the future actually might look like as AI and blockchain continues to grow. Let's have a listen here.
I think you think Bitcoin is real, right? My question now is it's become mainstream to the point of ETFs. I think it's to be harder to go higher quickly now. Unlike it was supposed to be that everyone can get in now, and that all the ETF companies are going to need to buy Bitcoin to put it in the ETFs. To me, it's like if you bought it at $800 or $8,000. You were smart. You went through a lot of trouble to buy it. Now everyone can buy it. I think it's going to be here for a while.
There's not going to be a whole new financial story driving it from the side of buyers necessarily, although there's one type of buyer that could be very important here. AI agents are going to start doing a lot of things in our economy. And for AI agents to coordinate with incentive systems, you're probably going to use crypto. And so if this AI story works out in certain consumer areas, especially...
And then tokenizes everything.
To AI, yeah. Do you...
That is some weird shit to think about right there. Is AI agents utilizing crypto to communicate and send data back and forth and have it verifiable. Not unreasonable to think about. I made a meme about me paying the Terminator to get off my lawn with Bitcoin in 2030. like 4 years ago. And the more that they talk like this and the more of a national security threat it appears to be, that AI is being developed. And you think about China's developing their own AI, Elon Musk, what if we have competing AI systems inside of like nanobot AI systems that they inject fighting inside our body, trying to fight like the Pfizer robots. You know what I mean? What if you have like the Tesla robots and versus the Pfizer robots? It's I'm just spitballing out there. Like the world's moving fast. They're developing these things right now. And we're, obviously we're hyper bullish on the data power and like everything that blockchain offers to upgrade the infrastructure. With that upgraded infrastructure, obviously you're going to need chip production. But then you have this weird potential marriage between blockchain and AI coming up. Who knows how long that would take? It's growing pretty exponentially, pretty quickly. And yeah, I want to get into the chaos at Boeing. Just doesn't seem to stop. I can't just stop calling it out.
The wheel.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the whole. We got a pretty good list here. We have this is from Dylan LeClaire. Thankfully, Boeing spent $50 billion in stock buybacks over the past decade instead of reinvesting in further aerospace engineering development or merely bolstering the balance sheet with additional liquid capital and or a bolstering of their preventative maintenance, maybe, you guys. Instead, what we've seen on January 5th, they had the panel rip off midair. The 13th, cockpit window cracked. 17th, 737 strands the Warhawk himself, Anthony Blinken. And January 19th, Boeing 747 cargo plane burns up. The 20th, the plane in Atlanta lost a wheel. That's what Hannah was talking about. And Boeing to pause production for a quality-focused day. I think that you guys should take more than a day.
Period.
Yeah.
They're going to take like 1 day.
Yeah, take a week.
That's funny.
Take a week. Make sure that you're doing the right thing. Holy hell. Now, here's a question in the chat, too. Let me know what you think. Who is the company that is going to rise from Boeing's faults, right? Now we have a company that's really had some bad publicity, really dominates passenger, airliners. I think it was mentioned in the chat, Airbus. Is that the move?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
French one?
Let's look it up. I want to look it up because I'm curious who is going to be the passenger airline production aerospace company that rises. European Multinational Aerospace Corp consists of 3 core units. Let's see. Yes, they are based in the Netherlands, it looks like. Airbus is what came to my mind as far as the company to watch. I don't know if they're even public or private, but nature abhors the void. And when we see Boeing kind of falling off their panels are falling off the hinges, then you got to start thinking about who is going to step in and fill those shoes. The world moves at you quick.
My vote's Lockheed.
You think Lockheed Martin?
My dad works there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
They're are they U.S. based? I believe they're U.S. based. They had a lot of production companies or production spots in Colorado. Like they were all over the place.
I think there's one in Texas as well, and then we have one here. I don't know where else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Lockheed
It's
Martin,
interesting why they chose the location they did.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No, I don't.
Apparently they have to be like X amount of miles away from the sea.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was told. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, a little inland. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very interesting stuff to think about, right? With all the big news, you got to think about the opportunity in the situation. Now, we're going to take a quick look at Argentinian peso relative to the U.S. dollar. This is why the central bank is being dissolved. This is peso in USD, and the time frame goes from 2020. It begins flu season and pretty steady decline, but then a jackknife downward in recent months. So essentially, this thing's fallen off of a cliff, and I really, really hope that Javier Milei has a lot of energy and a good cabinet, a good group of people around him that can help shape that future for the country in the right direction and recapture monetary reasonability. You know, a little bit of responsibility from the upper echelon in monetary policy can go a long way for a country, especially after a collapse like that in fiat valuation. So This on the United States, our total debt to GDP is now at 350%. We owe, 350% of what we make at this point. Private credit now controls $1.2 trillion. What could go wrong? This is a thread from Game of Trades. Great account. Here's the U.S. total debt surging 4.5 times the size of the economy, with the majority of the increase occurring since the 1980s. This is a long-term graph, so you're looking most of the increase beginning right around there. Now, obviously, our famous pulling off the gold standard and then the true nature of our system falling off the wheels comes into play. Here we are right now. Not looking great, but, we can, as a country, reel the power back if we put a little bit of monetary responsibility into the minds of the market makers like the Fed. Assuming the steep increase happened leading up to 1929, and the unwinding that followed was initiated by the Great Depression. However, such a deleveraged occurrence hasn't happened since. So that is the big question here. Is this hyper exciting push-up? I mean, this is an exciting push-up if you are looking at debt as a share of GDP. Does it follow the same pattern? You know what I mean? And that's what's on the back of my mind as I'm in crypto. That's why I'm making sure to get out of my crypto and put it into real estate in the lows of the market, so not as to get caught with a situation where I have a ton of debt and the system absolutely collapses, and then you have forced confiscation of land from banks. You have things of that nature, bail-ins into your own bank account to fix the larger system. That is why it's important to stack land, my friends. The situation doesn't look like it's great. If it does rhyme with the recent, if the recent increase in all these metrics rhymes what happened in the Depression, it's going to get ugly. It's going to be ugly for a few years. So, even then, brother, I didn't turn on, I left the ads off today. I didn't like the ads interrupting everything. Now we also have this European central banks are asking lenders to monitor social media accounts to find early signs of bank runs.
What?
This is the same controls we were talking about with Piano Matty B, but a little bit more expanded. This is the EU central bank scrubbing social media, likely with some sort of AI aggregation tool, to find people that are posting about the potential risks of leaving your money inside of an insolvent bank.
Stop.
That is what this
Stop
is.
right now.
So,
alrighty then.
It's not great. These are telltale signs of a sick system. This is the telltale sign of the reasons why things need to change. You can't just instill more and more controls and take people's God-given rights of freedom away just because you done wrong over the last century. It's not the right thing to do. So we also have this Qatar delaying liquid natural gas transport of cargoes to South Europe amid the Red Sea crisis. One of the world's biggest liquefied natural gas exporters. Supply chains will feel this. And on that note, I know it's kind of far out there what we talk about with Houthis and the Red Sea and all that stuff that's now going on for real. But the Red Sea is a very strong pinch point for world trade. It's estimated about 1/3 of some of the most important exports and imports have to go through the Red Sea, and that pinch point that the Houthis are trying to control right now. So don't be surprised if, all of a sudden a year from now, what our country is doing as far as deploying to Yemen for this leads to a conflict with Iran as well. And Iran is a practiced warring nation. So we talk about the potential dangers of China and all their technological advancements, yada, yada, yada. Really, if you compare China's military to the United States, I'm not concerned because they're not practiced. The Iranian army is practiced. So that's something keeping an eye on as everything else continues to be going on. Obviously, Ukraine and, in my opinion, soon to come Taiwan. We have this General Patrick Sanders, head of the British Army, saying that Britain should train and equip citizen armory to be prepared for a country in war. On land, he's talking about preparing the British people for an actual army in Britain. This is the same level of warnings that came before World War II.
Stop. Wait, how do you know that?
Yes, the general and the army did prepare, Britain and the actual people of the country before Hitler Yeah, bombarded. I believe it was Blitzkrieg.
Jeez.
So you got to keep that in mind. Like these countries and these generals of these countries involved, they don't see this as a joke. They don't see this as a show. I know a lot of people get drowned out because so much is going on, but it is sitting right on the edge of a cliff.
It's good to be over prepared for things
It
like
is.
this than under prepared, but man, it makes my stomach hurt thinking about it.
It is. So, but you guys showed me something that I thought was really cool. It's this new video game that
some people in the chat got it right.
Some people in chat got it right.
Yeah.
Okay. The game that we found that I think I'm excited because something might be coming, in my opinion. Palworld. It is
Palworld.
It's Palworld.
Palworld.
Like they're your little pals.
I want to call it Palworld. Palworld sounds too cheesy.
No, it's
you don't think so? I mean, I guess it's okay to have pals. This is the Twitter account at Palworld_en. God, yeah, that's gonna jack me up for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's Palworld.
Palworld? Oh
Pal.
my God.
It's like, hey, these are my pals.
But this has an interesting backstory. Hannah, you know a little bit more about me, about this than I do. I'll show why I'm excited just in the gameplay and how it operates. But what's the backstory about this? Why should we be paying attention to this thing over others?
I think it's similar to Only Up. If you guys were around, that was last year, probably 6 months ago ish. It was a really popular game on Twitch, like the most popular game in the world for like a week, and there's thousands and thousands of people watching it live on Twitch. They're watching people play, and that game had Goblin Town NFTs like incorporated in it, so the crypto community was like paying attention to it. This game was created by two crypto guys. One of them, you can see the CEO, Takuro Mizobi right there. He worked at JP Morgan, and then he launched a crypto exchange in 2014. And Thread Guy, the first time that I saw this was like Saturday.
That's some interesting overlap. Thread Guy
Is the first time that I saw this tweet, which he is like a niche micro internet celebrity. He's like a famous NFT Twitter personality, and like people knows him. Like he has a big following, right? And he tweeted and said like, we're on Palworld basically. So that brought my attention to it. It's been all over the timeline for a few days. It looks really cute.
It's been blown up on Twitch.
$27 on Steam, I think. So people are just paying for it. And then I looked last night and there was like 250,000 people concurrent watching people play this game on Twitch.
250,000 people watching the game.
A ton of people.
In that tweet too, it said that their budget to build the game was $7 million. And it's brought in $100 million.
They have money.
Gosh.
They know how to do this already.
The game's a little controversial though.
It is.
It's Pokemon with guns.
Yeah, I love
Pokemon one of the bullet points on that tweet is interesting. He said, in order for the game to be a success, it needs to like hit it off in America. And he was like, people in America love guns.
Yeah, that's a
so
fact.
they put guns in the game and it worked.
It's very interesting though. I was like looking at reviews and stuff, but it's like you have guns. You can go and like catch the pals or whatever the heck they are. They're not Pokemon.
You can catch people.
You can catch people in the game.
Oh my God.
Then you can choose to like put them to work. Bro, people have like got all these pals or whatever and have them like mining and wood cutting and all this stuff, and then you can like also choose to just kill them.
Oh my God. That's not very pal-like.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very interesting.
It's got like Pokemon and Zelda vibes is what I'm getting.
So,
it's got the paraglider just like Zelda.
And then I looked it up. I was wondering, I was like, there's no way Pokemon's not going to sue them.
Yeah.
But I looked into it, and Pokemon is not able to do anything because like if they were to use the word Pokemon, then that's an issue.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of the Pokemon characters that are have copyright things. So if they used like a Pikachu or a Charizard, something like that, there'd be issues. But
it's slightly different.
The Pokemon did not invent the wolf. or Fox.
Right.
They're slightly different, and there's also rumors that like some of the stuff in the game was made by AI. I don't know.
Okay.
But,
so it's custom, and you have the rights to it anyway. So at that point,
yeah.
Some people in chat addicted to this game.
Yeah,
this is a
it's
thing.
everywhere right now.
A lot of people love it.
I'm gonna go stream it tonight. Go follow me on Twitch.
You're gonna stream it tonight?
I want to.
Okay.
I haven't played it yet. I've just seen it. But like, yeah, it's not a crypto game. There's just a lot of speculation that it could be a catalyst.
That
what if they
excites me.
were to add NFTs, or what if the founders of this game were to just go make another one and release it in the bull market? You know,
And I want to see. Didn't they had some amazing numbers last night on active users here? I'll go.
It was
down.
like 200-something thousand people were playing.
I think it was 1.8 million, dude.
I just saw
But
something
here it is.
interesting. The
Second highest all-time peak in stream history. The number.
Steam.
Steam. The number of Steam users currently playing Palworld, not watching it, playing it, exceeded 1.85 million. Thank you for playing the game, even though it's a weekday. This is on a weekday. Absolutely insane to see.
right under
something like
PUBG.
Right.
Is crazy.
Coming out of nowhere, coming out of left field.
Yeah.
With ties of the founders, deep connections, JP Morgan, crypto know-how.
We'll see if it holds the hype though. It could just be like
we'll see.
It stays around for a week or two and then dies down. But
the game looks good.
It
I would
does
play
look
that
good.
game.
It does
I like
look
that
good.
game.
Is there potential to play to earn with crypto in there or something? I don't know. You know my take on that. I think for play to earn / crypto blockchain to be in video games, it has to be like slid underneath everyone's nose because the gaming community does not like NFTs and they don't like crypto.
But they would like it though. If it's designed pretty similarly, I would say, to Zelda. If you had like pockets of treasure, like in a cave or like somewhere where you had to really fight to get to, and then the prize is like an in-game token. You know what I mean?
People are suckers for skins. Like
Yeah,
League of
that's true.
Legends, Counter-Strike. Like some of those like knife skins go for a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's that. And this also, the game kind of reminded me, at least for like the aspect of like gathering materials and stuff, is it was on Gala Games. It was that farm game, like where you bought NFTs to like help you on the farm or whatever.
Yes.
Is it Farm Town or not Farmville?
No,
Someone in the chat, what is it?
Yeah, let us
I don't
know that
remember.
one. We see these attempts though to games, but really what I felt like is that they were small games. This is a big game in and of itself. If it keeps this momentum going, it can just be a big game that then has the founding and the kind of development team behind it to actually put blockchain into it and make it a play to earn. If you actually like find, I imagine in Zelda you break a specific rock open, you get a diamond or something.
But
like
the
that.
reason that you're still playing Zelda is you haven't beat the game.
That's true.
I don't know this game that well, but where I could see it failing is people they lose things to do in the game. Like there's not enough things in the game. So they need to have updates to the game, whatever.
They
to
released
make it
a roadmap
success.
and they said planned future updates PvP.
PvP.
I'm like, me and Aaron are RuneScape. They said they're introducing raid bosses, in-game content,
See, that's
a
perfect.
PAL arena, PvP for pals. Okay, hear me. And also, I just peeped something when you went to their
Town
Twitter
Star, thank
profile. Luca Nets follows the Pudgy Penguin founder. They're also building an online game. Imagine if you could put... They're building an online game for the penguins. Imagine you can transfer your penguin NFT with all your assets to Palworld and you can fight someone.
Yeah, as a penguin in Palworld.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
that's not
gosh.
difficult for them to do. They have the capacity.
Well, and they're all
We're dreaming
interconnected.
here. But
I know, but we're looking at the connections and
Yeah,
the potentials of
who
these.
knows?
And they're doing this the right way, though. They're building the big user base before trying to talk.
They
about
have to
the
be
crypto.
careful though, because Fluffy in the chat also brought up another concern I have is pay to win. People do not like pay to win.
Yeah.
Do not put that in the game, or it's just you
No,
don't
they have
want
to
that.
play it and like beat a really hard boss or something, and then it's just an added bonus.
Yeah.
And then they can go realize, oh wait, I can. This is an open market token.
Yeah.
That's how.
I don't know all the answers, but I know there's some
There's
obstacles
potentials there.
for a game like that to work.
It's exciting though, and if
It is
this
cool.
many people are playing Palworld and this many like NFT people care about it, imagine 2025.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of possibilities, man. I mean, crypto and gaming, like it's two they're right in parallel. There's going to be a meeting at some point, and this is on Ordinals on Bitcoin. Even has successfully uploaded Super Nintendo emulator on the iPhone thanks to Bitcoin Ordinals. This is absolutely insane. It plays inside of his Xverse app. I have one of these too. This is for getting spots on Ordinal picks. But pretty amazing to see them putting video games on Bitcoin Ordinals. We showed a little bit, but it didn't really run. They fixed they had to update it to get it running. And just a quick shout out to this guy, Warrior Poet Society. Humbled and thrilled to accept Firearm Instructor of the Year for Training Director Paul Perkinson, myself, and Warrior Poet team. Major thanks to all you war poets out there making it happen for the Gundies. Absolutely awesome. There's him with his wife, smiling like there's no tomorrow. I absolutely love this guy's content. If you're looking for training tips, things that you can do to up your preparedness and your vigilance level, a great spot to start. But I guess now, God, it's already 3:05. That game really took up a lot of our...
I could talk about that for
It's a good game.
Time.
It's a good-looking game, man.
I know. I'm tempted to buy it.
Yeah.
I know.
But I'm addicted to RuneScape too.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Well, you got the Switch now.
Yeah, my wife wanted us to get a Switch to when we have people over. It's like, let's play Mario Kart or Smash Bros or whatever. So we got a good deal for a Switch. Got a bunch of games. So
nice.
I'm excited. I want to get her to play Animal Crossing. I'm like, because she played Webkins back in the day. I'm like, you would like it.
Oh, she would love it.
Yes,
she would
I'm gonna
love
get it for her.
Do it.
Well, we better go. I gotta go work out. But I appreciate every single one of you out there, and thank you, Hannah and Aaron, for joining me, and Owen, of course. BJ is out in Nam, the music conference, and he's going to be talking about his Thumbfin product lines coming out with his very own business. Very exciting for BJ. He's out there crushing it. He'll be back next week. Given we don't freeze over and airplanes halt, or I warned him about Boeing. I don't think there's anything you can do about riding on a Boeing at this point. But appreciate every single one of you out in the chat. Fluffy the Sheep, David Marion, Crimson Caravan Company, Boosted 2JZ, Candle Daddy, Bob from Accounting. You guys are all absolute wonderful people, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Hopefully we have some good green price action to talk about. Take care.
Bye.